All right. Now, this will be a very short video, short live stream. I want to sort of give it a pre-recorded foundation or build to it. So let's dive right into the subject. All dogs go to hell. Now, I heard the song All Dogs Go to Hell for the first time today, shortly before I went live. I'd never heard it. I'd never heard of it. And I don't know how I've missed it all this time. Okay, it is a country song.
And all dogs go to hell. Oh, all dogs go to hell. Oh, all dogs go to hell. Oh, all dogs go to hell. Oh.
Now, I thought the song was funny, and it's actually a pretty good country song. It's got a nice groove, a good kick and snare, definitely authentically American music. And if you've never heard of it, or you've never heard it, I'm going to go ahead and share it in the chat room. Okay, I thought that was funny. Here, let me pin it to the top. Just in case. Now I want to talk about this. I just don't want to laugh at it. I want to talk about it because it's true. And I want dog lovers to know this. And this is not a joke. All dogs truly do go to hell. But you know, it's really because they're from hell. I hate to put it to you like this, but that's where they come from. Now, hell, that's all a moral thing, isn't it? Whether you go to hell or heaven or hell, it depends on how you lived your life from a moral standpoint. Is that true or not? From a moral standpoint, you can't be a living entity that's willing and able to harm the harmless, the vulnerable. That is morally wrong by any standard. It's not possible for dogs to make it into heaven. Even if your dog has never attacked anyone in its worthless life, it's still going to hell because it would. And if it did, it wouldn't think anything of it because dogs cannot feel guilt. Nothing that is ignorant of good and evil will make it into heaven. By default, you're evil if you don't know the difference between good and evil. Entities like that don't make it into heaven. And listen, I believe in an afterlife. I don't believe it's the type of heaven that's described in many of the famous or popular textbooks or holy books. But I know dogs don't make it because it's strictly a moral thing. And dogs do not have morals. If your dog has never attacked anyone in its worthless life, if it attacked someone tomorrow, it would not feel any remorse, no guilt, nothing. Nothing. So that means even if your dog has never attacked anyone, it's going to hell. And I want to point this out because I've seen a lot of memes. I've heard a lot of the dog lover slogans about how dogs go to heaven, how there's a special place in heaven for dogs. Okay? And I just want to make it clear. No, there is not. No, there's not. And I think y'all going too far with that narrative. You've gone too far in many other ways. Okay, we have to start hitting the brakes for these people. They're not going to hit the brakes on their own. We all know that. Now, take your pick when it comes to images that have been made available by dog lovers who believe dogs go to heaven. That would disgrace heaven. Let's be honest. Let's be honest and let's be real. For dogs in heaven, dogs would defile heaven. If that were possible for them to make it to heaven, they would defile heaven. They would contaminate heaven. We all know this. With foreign zoonotic diseases, germs, bacteria, viruses, parasites. But aside from how filthy they are, and we know filth is not holy, most scriptures, religious texts, emphasize cleanliness. They put emphasis on not being dirty and being free from filth, germs, parasites, diseases. In the Bible, dogs are associated with evil all throughout the Bible. If you go to my channel and type in the search Bible, you'll see I made a video where I covered the scriptures in the Bible. They always refers or associates dogs with something negative. It's usually evil and filthy. Do you really think something like that's described in such harsh language in the Bible, do you really think those same creatures make it to heaven? You don't believe that. You don't, and I'm just right now dealing with the Bible. If you're a dog lover and you believe in the Bible, you should be aware of these scriptures. There's no way that dogs could possibly make it into heaven. If there's a heaven, if that's a real place, dogs will not go there. Like Chase Rice said, they go to hell. They don't go to heaven, they go to hell. And I say they go to hell because that's where they're from. That's literally where they're from. Spirits that comes from hell, they not only have no sense of good and evil, they lean towards evil. They have evil instincts. Nothing that's willing to mutilate a human child, an infant, can make it into heaven. There's no way. No negotiating. They don't make it into, they don't. And again, if your dog has never attacked anyone, that is irrelevant. Because if your dog did attack a child, infant, it would not feel any remorse, wouldn't feel guilty at all. And if you are the owner of a bully breed, but really all dogs, once they taste blood, yeah, good luck trying to stop them, trying to stop the attack. So as I always point out, and I always point this out, not only do they attack, it's a sustained attack. So you know there's not a drop of morals inside of these things. There's not a drop of good inside of these things. Not one drop. Or else that would be enough to put a halt to an attack. Instead, there can be as many as 5 pit bulls. Like this story I just talked about a couple videos back. 5 pit bulls attacked a 2-year-old, killed a 2-year-old. 1 pit bull is far too much for a 2-year-old, for a child of any age. But 5, the dogs themselves had to have had enough brains to know that the 2-year-old was no match for 5 pit bulls. And that made them want to attack the 2-year-old even more. That pack mentality, that's evil. That's what that is. Let's briefly deal with the evil spirit of these mutants. These things are pure evil in the flesh. Their behavior is itself innately just evil. That's evil when you don't even get hit with a dose of reality. Remorse never dawns on you. You just don't attack. You attack and keep attacking. You attack to kill. This is especially true for bully breeds. They were literally bred to kill. That's why they don't stop. They were bred to fight like that. They were bred to continue attacking and to not stop attacking. That was bred into them. Nothing like that can make it into any type of heaven, whatever type of heaven you believe in. And I hope all you dog nutters, I hope you're okay with that, because that's a fact. This, you will only see this in cartoon. You will only see this in animation. But this, rest assured, is not reality, not even remotely close. If there is a hell, dogs were specifically made for it. Excuse me. They were made from it. Hell had to have given birth to dogs. Only something this soulless. Nothing is as soulless in spirit. Do y'all know dogs don't even have a real sense of family? No. They attack each other in their packs. They don't even treat each other with kindness. And that's why our religious texts speak against them. Now, I heard the Quran. You touch a dog or something like that, you got to wash your hands like 5 times. Okay? Correct me or clarify it for the rest of us. Exactly what's said in the Quran if you are Muslims. A lot of Muslim crusaders follow the channel, as well as the Bible. The Bible is very explicit and clear. They're not speaking in parables. These are not parables, okay? It's not, there are no metaphors. There are certain verses in there where they are specifically condemning dogs. So trust me, you don't want to have a discussion about whether or not dogs go to heaven. They most certainly do not. If there is a heaven, then heaven was basically created to be dog free. That it was specifically created for dogs to stay out. That's what makes it heaven. The first requirement is cleanliness. Right? I believe for a long time, many groups bathed themselves before they would pray. Maybe some of you still do that. Maybe you're part of a religion where you wash your hands or wash your face before prayer. What do we always say when we were growing up? Wash your hands before you eat. You get in trouble. If you sat down at the table and had not washed, especially if you started to eat already and you had not washed your hands, you get in trouble. Old timers didn't play that. A requirement of being an evolved species and a humane, civilized people with basic is cleanliness. There's no cleanliness with these mutants. I believe even if they were harmless, they would still not make it to heaven because of how nasty and filthy they are. If you believe in a God, trust me, dogs have been cursed by that God. I 110% guarantee you, cursed by that God. And that's why dogs have all these problems and issues, neurologically and biologically. They have more diseases and afflictions, dismembering, disfiguring, these diseases, infections. They have far more infections than any other group of animal. I'm just looking at the evidence. There's no way that any God looks favorably upon very dirty creatures that the religious texts themselves speak against. Okay, so this is not rhetoric from me. This is not even my opinion. This is a conclusion based on the evidence. And again, those scriptures in the Bible are very clear. It always associates dogs with something evil and filthy. So I had to get that off my chest before I went to bed tonight. In response, in part, to goofy photos like this, and goofy statements, and these implications that God created dogs, that these are God's creatures. No, they're not. That's not my opinion. That's scientific fact. They are mutants. And you release them into nature, nature itself will exterminate them. That is another fact. There's no way something that can't even survive in nature is favored by God. It's impossible. You might not like that, but it is the truth. Shout out to everybody who joined me on this brief live stream. And I hope to see you on the next as we continue with this crusade.